Hey guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoilery gush video for The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. I actually don't have a ton to discuss with this video because there's not a ton of like twists and turns or anything, but there are some characters that I wanted to talk about and some different vague things that I wanted to see what your reactions to them were, because the story has a lot of vague storylines weaved in and even like a really vague ending, so I wanted to see what you guys thought of those different elements. So I'm coming to realize that I actually enjoy a lot of vague stories. I know that people don't like that, but I do love magical realism, I'm discovering, and usually with magical realism you don't really know what's true and what's not, and what's magic and what's not, and vague endings I'm actually discovering that I kind of like interpreting for myself how things are and if it's a nice ending or not and that kind of thing. So as far as all of our main characters with all three women from the story, I actually found myself enjoying the grandmother Emmeline, I think is how you say her name. I know that it's French and I'm really horrible with pronunciations, but I found her story the one that I enjoyed the most, and that's kind of saying something because I think she does have the most tragic of all of the stories. I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy the other women because I definitely did, but I think her story was the most compelling to me, and I think it's because we got to spend the most time with her. Obviously, we start out with her story and she's there the entire time, so I really grew very attached to her, and just her quiet sadness and all the things that she had to go through, and the fact that she went through all those things and lived to be an old woman is really awesome, I think, and just how she really pulled herself up, and she has just a lot of really strong female friendships. I really enjoyed that she mostly took care of herself, that she really knew what she wanted and just kind of went for it, that she had a lot of female friends and a lot of female characters surrounding her. I really enjoyed that this book was about female characters at its core and about this group of women and how many even side characters were female and everything. I just really enjoyed all of the female interactions we got with this. I also found all the magical elements surrounding her just really wonderful, how she was kind of haunted by her family, that her story was really about familial love and sibling love, and I just really enjoyed those elements. I found it's so sad that her family is kind of haunting her, but that they're also kind of looking out for her and how they were trying to warn her about what happened with Ava and what was going to happen. I love that her siblings were the ones that kind of disposed of Nathaniel, and we don't really know where exactly he went, but it's obviously nowhere good. Kind of got a ghost scene from the movie Ghost, and I just loved that kind of family was taking care of each other even in the afterlife, and I really liked that really beautiful element, and how even how she left and how she died, that it was really her kind of going home. I thought that was so beautiful, and I just really enjoyed her story and how it kind of wrapped up in the end. I also really enjoyed the story of Vivian, again, not sure with the names, but I liked that she had a different kind of magicalness than her mother. I liked that she had this really strong sense of smell, and that was kind of magical, where her mother could kind of determine things beforehand and kind of had this almost fortune-telling element to her. I liked that she had this like sense of smell, which is a very interesting thing, but was made very magical. It was very sad for her in her situation with Jack. I wasn't really sure how that was going to work out exactly, but I'm glad that ultimately she ended up choosing for herself the best situation for her, and that didn't happen automatically. I love that she eventually accepted the love of Gabe, and how that wasn't an automatic thing where she was left by Jack and all of a sudden she just fell into Gabe's arms. It definitely took a long time, and it was a very adult, mature relationship, and it just warmed my heart at the end when she finally kind of accepted that, and he really thought of the kids as his kids, and it was just really beautiful. And again, a different idea of a family, that a family and a father does not have to be biological in any way, and that he was more of a father than anybody else was to Ava and Henry. As far as Ava, I obviously really loved her as well. I loved her relationship with her neighbor, Cardigan, and then Ro. I liked that female friendship. I thought it was very realistic, and some of the things that happened were very realistic, and I just really loved it. But I also loved the relationship with Ro. I liked that he had a bit of a stutter and everything, and how he was just such a nice character and really, really cared for her. And I liked that at the end it was kind of, how's it gonna work out? Is it gonna work out? She takes off, flies away. Is she gone? Is she staying with him? What's gonna happen with her? We don't really know, and I know that vagueness some people don't like, but I really love that. I actually thought of it as a very good ending. I thought that she was flying and then would obviously be back, but she was kind of showing the world and herself that she could fly after this whole time. And I thought that was just really beautiful that her wings did come back, because that's just really great, and I was really torn up about everything with her, obviously, with Nathaniel and that scene. I was not expecting that whatsoever, that to be any kind of like sexual assault or anything, and when it was, I was just so heartbroken. And then just the image of her having her wings removed and just, ugh. I love that all those things were really shown as she had to recover from this. It wasn't like she was instantly better and everything was fine. It's obviously a very sad situation, and I'm really glad that she did ultimately get her wings back in the end. Was she gone? Is she not? Did she fly away? I don't know, but I like to think that that was a good, happy ending and that she was kind of just flying and spreading her wings, but that she would be back ultimately, and I just really loved everything about the story. There were a lot of things that were obviously super vague about the story. I'm also not really sure about the tie-in that was with the girl that lived there and their house beforehand, the little ghost girl who had the weird relationship with the brother. I liked that story, and again, I liked that kind of weird vagueness, kind of creepiness, magical realism. We don't really know, but I don't really know what the significance of her was. I know we had those weird hybrid birds and that she was around and she was also kind of warning and stuff like that, but I don't really know how that connected. So if you guys can tell me, I would appreciate it. I don't really care. I'm okay with these kind of vague stories, like I said, but I'm ultimately not sure how she tied into everything else, even though that was a very interesting, beautiful story and a nice little tidbit and very kind of creepy. I'm not sure how she and the hybrid birds and everything tied in. So obviously I'm going to be gushing about this book for a long time, but here I don't want to gush about everything because I literally could gush about every little side story, everything about it, how it was written. It's just so, so beautiful. So if you have anything that you want to gush with me about, discuss, talk about the vagueness, how did you feel about the vague ending? Did you interpret that as a sad ending or as a happy ending? Let me know down in the comments. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!